So hi everyone, welcome to my new video about Froobit framework. Froobit framework is a game development framework based on P5.js as a renderer. In this video, I just wanted to give you a quick update on what I'm currently working on, and I think it's quite exciting. So I made a code that creates an infinite dynamic background. So basically, you provide a small image. So it can be, for example, 400 pixels wide, but the framework will repeat the background and create the illusion that you have infinite background. And also, it has support for parallax effect. So basically, you can create two overlapping star fields and move them at different speeds, and you will have this effect as you can see in this example. So I will try to make this example right now in Froobit framework just to show you how easy it is to create something like that. So let's get started. I will just switch to another branch, and after webpack dev server compile, actually nothing, empty code, you will see that now our app is empty. And let's just initialize the framework. So to initialize the framework, you just call framework with an empty array, and then you call init. We can use Froot tool to create a background controller, and let me just see, the client folder is missing controller folder. So let's rerun Froot create command, and now you can see that we have background controller file, and let's draw something, actually a dark gray background, and now we can see back, and refresh, and you can see that we have this dark gray background. Basically, but we don't want that. We want to use a framework ability to create infinite background. So we will rename this controller to something like star field 1 controller, and we will use something from the framework which is called infinite background, and it actually receives a name of the asset which you want to show, and we will load assets shortly. But for now, let's just export default. We'll export composition of our starfield1 controller and dynamic background provider. So basically, it will provide a movement control. So basically, when you move your mouse, your background is moving accordingly, and if you place the player in the middle, it looks like your player is moving. So we need to provide starfield1 controller. We don't need this. I can delete this. I can also delete this entity since we're using the built-in entity. And now we just need to provide assets. So we'll use space 1 and space 2 images. So basically, we will overlap those two images. You can see that the second image has a transparency. So the space 1 image, the stars from the image are going to be a bit dimmed, and also the stars from the second image are bigger than the previous one, and they look like they're closer, and this will really help with creating a great parallax effect. And when we change the speeds of movement, it will really look good. So let's go back to our background controller, and so we are actually currently exporting only one background, and let's just space 1, and I also need this asset here. So, and let's import space 2, and we can also import ship, so our spaceship which we're going to draw in the middle. And I think that ship is PNG, and space 2 is PNG, of course. And here just register, that should be it. And now we just register assets, and let me check this. So we have one infinite background, we call it space 1, or I can call it space 2, doesn't matter really. Space 2 is a better image. And if we go to our browser, let's refresh. There is some kind of error, so maybe asset loading, space 2 PNG. Okay, space 2. And now you can see that our star field is moving, but let's go back now, and let's add another star field. Star field 2, it will overlap the first one. Let's just switch to space 1, and actually here we're going to export an array of controllers. So it's also possible to do in Froobit framework. So instead of just one composition, you can export multiple compositions like an array, and you just provide another controller here. And if you go back to the game, you can see that it looks like we have only one image which is moving, but actually we have two images which are moving at the same speed. So if I change the speed of dynamic background number two to something like 1.8, so it's a really noticeable change. If we go back, wait for reload, now you can see that we have parallax effect. And but what we are missing currently is a spaceship. So let's quickly create a spaceship. So I will also use a Froobit tool to create space. And you can see that we have spaceship entity, and it's basically going to be a image, and we're going to draw a ship at the position 0, 0. And we can grab assets here, but maybe use destructuring, just use ship like that, and set P image mode to P center. Okay, so now if we register our spaceship controller here, spaceship controller, we go back to app, we can see our spaceship right there on the position 0, 0, but we want it here in the middle. So let me show you what you can do. You can apply controller to an entity using with controller directive, and you just create news, and then you can use a shortcut which will only be called before your render method. So this is your render method, and this callback will be called before the render method, and we can pull just P5 here, and let's say P5 translate, and the center is P5 width. So now hopefully we will have our ship at the right position in the middle. Something went wrong. Let me check again. So we have to return. We have to return something, of course. And let me check again. So yeah, here is our spaceship, but it's fixed. It doesn't rotate and doesn't follow our mouse. So we also use composition here. So and follow mouse provider, and rapid white space. Delete this. And what this provider does is it actually provides us with an angle. So let's grab get state method and let's get that angle. Basically use this structure again. After we do the translation, we do rotation, rotate by an angle. So you actually don't have to calculate anything, so using your mouse position in the center and then subtracting those vectors, this provider will do everything for you. So let's go back to the game, and you can see that our spaceship is now moving and rotating, following our mouse, and we also have a beautiful parallax effect with infinite background. So I can leave it like this for an hour and it will still have background to show. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.